What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Two Peas in a Pod with Tim and Ryan. As always, I'm Tim. That's my brother, my co-host, my dog, the co-creator of this here Two Peas in a Pod podcast. My main man, Frank Dank, Ryan, a.k.a. Frank Dank. How you doing tonight, bro?
I'm well. About yourself, my good brother?
I'm good, man. Survived the I guess all three stages of this blizzard that we just recently had.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to shovel out my driveway. I think the first day, it took me 2 days pretty much to shovel my driveway and shovel a spot on the street to where I was able to park and not worry about sliding trying to pull off the street.
Yeah.
Like, was you able to safely get back and forth to work?
Yeah. I had to take me about 3 hours to do my driveway because that shit was complete ice. And then, I spent like $75 getting back and forth to work the other day. And I said, fuck it, I'm just going to drive today. And then, we was able to get it popping and work was decent. And then on Friday, the snowstorm's cousin is supposed to come through and piss us off with some more snow, but hopefully it's just be in the morning and we ain't got to worry about it. But before we start, fuck Boston. All right.
That's fair enough. Before we talk about any other football this weekend, I want to address something because I know this is a joke. I know this is, the trend or whatever. Look, man, the Kansas City Chiefs done their job, okay? They're the number one seed in the AFC. They didn't have to play their starters. So everybody can let go of this notion that, the Chiefs just didn't want the Bengals to get in the playoffs, and the Chiefs didn't want to see the Bengals in the playoffs. Dog, look, it's the Bengals' fault why they're not in the playoffs to begin with. This is what happens when you keep choosing to start 1-4, 1-5. And let's look at the time. Let's look at the timeline of events. Y'all let Jesse Bates walk 2 years ago. You let safety Nick Scott walk after last season. And you let cornerback Chidobe Awuzie walk last season as well. What did you do? You did nothing to shore up the defense. I mean, you did sign Von Bell, but I couldn't really tell. You traded away Joe Mixon. And what was the outcome of that? Y'all ranked, I think, damn at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to rushing. Your pass defense was horrible. You allowed, I think you were 6th or 7th in points allowed this season. So yeah, let's keep blaming the Chiefs for y'all not getting in the playoffs.
And on top of that, they got the best quarterback statistically in the NFL, the best wide receiver statistically, Triple Crown winner in the NFL, and the best defensive end just based off sacks in the NFL. And you guys are going to be watching the whole entire playoffs at home. So the Bengals is one of those old school type of teams, family ran, right? They don't really like breaking the bank. So this is what happens when you don't want to pay players and you move up off them, trying to hope you hit in the draft. Eventually you're going to have to pay somebody.
Yeah. And look, I get it. As even with me being a Steelers fan, I think Joe Burrow's a great quarterback. I think Jamar Chase is an excellent wide receiver. I think T. Higgins is an excellent wide receiver too. Y'all been a fun team to watch all year, but I get it. All y'all love the Bengals and whatnot. Y'all want to see the Bengals do good, but y'all got to let go of that Super Bowl that y'all made a couple years ago. For one, you lost. Y'all keep giving this team credit for losing the Super Bowl, and I've never seen anybody get this much credit for losing the Super Bowl other than the Bengals. And that's all I got to say about that. I'm gonna let that one go.
Oh, this coming from a Steelers fan too, by the way. Just throw that out there.
That just goes to show you, like, bro, I'm a football fan first. And a Steelers fan second. But this whole Bengals going to the Super Bowl because of the one Super Bowl that they made, now y'all picking them every year, bro, let it go. Just cut it out. Cut it out. But now moving on to some teams that have made the playoffs, man. This is one exciting weekend, man.
This nigga's funny, man. All right.
What happened?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, no, just saying, we going to move on to some teams that did make the playoffs this upcoming weekend. This going to be a fun weekend, man. We got, the final round, the semifinal round of the college football playoff, and we got wild card weekend. Let's go ahead and jump off into the college football playoff, shall we, brother?
All right.
All right, so first up, we have number 5, Notre Dame versus number 4, Penn State. Penn State is searching for its first ever. Penn State searching for its first national title appearance since 1986. Notre Dame is searching for their first national title appearance since 2013. Yeah, and their first title since 1993. So last time these two teams played each other was in 2007. Penn State did win 31-10. Now, Ryan, I want you to talk about both of these teams and what you think needs to happen from both of these teams and who you think is going to be moving on to the national title game.
I mean, wouldn't it be funny if all this SEC talk, they're the best division, and then we have a Big Ten national championship game? Wouldn't that just be funny? That'd be so interesting. Anyway, this game is really going to come down to the quarterback play at Penn State, and he's been getting bailed out, by an excellent defense, an excellent running game, an excellent offensive line. But every time they needed him to pass, it didn't work. And then every time they play against a team that could beat them, they lose miserably. They lost to who? They lost to Ohio State this year, and they lost to Oregon.
They did barely lose to Ohio State, though.
This is true. So, to me, it's going to be really on the quarterback of Penn State. Notre Dame, they have an awesome defense, a decent quarterback who's actually a lot more athletic than I even wanted to give credit for. So it's going to come down to the trenches and which offensive line is going to bully who. I feel like this is going to be an extremely physical game. It's going to be rugged, Big Ten style type of football game, probably low scoring, and it's going to come down to probably one or two drives, either on Notre Dame or Penn State side, or who gets to go play for a national championship game. The winner, if I had to pick the winner of this game, I'm going to go Notre Dame. I just feel like they're a team that, they pissed off by losing to Marshall. They're pissed off by losing to Northern Illinois. They're pissed off about not being mentioned and talked about more when we talk about who's going to play for a national championship, who's a national championship team contender. They always mention Notre Dame as a playoff team, but that was it. I feel like this is their mark. They're going to punch their ticket and be like, yeah, we are good enough to play for a national title.
I like that assessment. I agree with you. I think this is going to be a very low-scoring matchup. Notre Dame's ninth in defense. Penn State is eighth in defense. Penn State's eighth in run defense. Notre Dame is second in points allowed. So, I do think Penn State, they cater to what Notre Dame does well, and that's run the ball. And Notre Dame, they've always had a stout defense. Shout out to Marcus Freeman over there, keeping that program together. Not falling apart after they lost to Northern Illinois, because I definitely thought it was all downhill for them after that. My issue with both teams is, what I didn't like from Notre Dame was they barely beat. I'm not gonna say barely. They didn't look all that great against a Georgia team that was down to their backup QB. I think a lot of people would agree with me. If Carson Beck was starting that game, I think Georgia would have won that game. Even though they beat Georgia, they didn't look all that great on offense. They only had 244 total yards of offense. 154 of it was from rushing, 90 of it was from passing. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not too high on Penn State either, but they did hold Aston Genty, somebody that rushed for over 2,000 yards. And, throughout the course of the season, they did hold him to 104 yards. And they only gave up 108 total rushing yards to Boise State. But they did give up 304 passing yards. So there is that. I got to give it to Notre Dame. They did hold Georgia's running defense at bay. which that was going to be my question. Since Georgia, how are they going to look against Georgia's running game and against that Georgia's defense? If I really had to pick a winner in this game, I'm gonna take Penn State. I'm gonna take Penn State. I'd like to see them. Because they've been so close to getting to the college football playoff numerous times, and they finally get the opportunity, and they are making the best of their opportunity. So.
And bro, that offensive line is massive. They was doing whatever they wanted to Georgia's defensive line. I was like, oh damn.
Yes, they were. Damn. Yes, they were. So, but I would like to see. I'm gonna take Penn State just because I think with the opponents that they have, I get it. They haven't faced top tier competition, whatever. But with the opponents that they have faced, they've answered every question that I needed to see from them. And I think I think they've done what they should have done against the competition that they faced, as opposed to what I saw from Georgia last game. So I think Penn State wins this. I think this is gonna be a very physical battle, but I'm gonna take Penn State in this one. I'm gonna take Penn State. Very close game though. I don't expect a whole lot of scoring.
It's not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick at all.
Not a game that we've both been looking forward to talking about. We got number 6 Ohio State versus number 3 Texas. Little backstory on this one. Quinn Ewers did transfer to Texas from Ohio State in 2022 after committing to Ohio State in 2021. This will be the first time he's playing Ohio State since transferring. Ryan, I know you couldn't wait to take off on this one, so you go ahead. You take off, bro.
Speaking of Quinn Ewers, this game is 1,000% on your shoulders. You've been coddled, and it's been disguised well. Everything has been scripted for you well. These are the type of games where, okay, yeah, he's a dog. You know what I'm saying? These are the kind of games that could change the narrative. Have people stop talking about Archie, who's the fucking backup. You put Archie on the bench, and if he would have played good in that Georgia game the first time, we may not even be talking about Quinn Ewers right now. So the main objective to me is going to be how Quinn Ewers attacks that Ohio State defense, which is not lousy at all. This is a very good defense. Very good defense. I feel like they're going to try to copy off what Georgia did, stop the running game, and if you're going to beat us, it's going to be with Quinn Ewers. And once you get pressure, it's been shown that he was going to make mistakes. A little bit of backstory too. The game against Oklahoma, Quinn didn't play that great. And if you want to talk about it, that last year in the Big 12, they had one scored wins against like Baylor and Cincinnati, if I remember correctly, and Texas Tech and things of that nature. So like, this team can be beat. I mean, Arizona State gave them everything that they wanted and then some. They still was able to pull away in overtime, but it took overtime for them to pull away from Arizona State.
2 of them.
2 overtime. So, with that being said, if they come out there on some bullshit, Ohio State is going to skull drag them boys. And what's funny, they play next season too.
So who you got winning it?
Man, and then on the flip side, all the stuff they talk about Howard at Ohio State, I mean, all he's done is take his team to the playoffs. Now, I don't. On the flip side, Texas is going to try to do what Michigan did, make it ugly, make it a fist fight, stop the running game, limited his time with the ball to pass and make his reads to pass downfield. And then also, Chip Kelly's going to have to call a better game. He's going to have to have a better game plan against this Texas defense because they're not going to let you just do whatever. You got to catch them off guard with some things and take shots down the field.
I like that assessment.
So the winner, I'm going to go Ohio State because I feel like since the playoffs have started, they look like the best team that's left in the playoffs. But if Quinn Ewers goes off, I don't know.
We shall see. I'm gonna say this. If you are a fan of Texas, you can't. After watching y'all last two performances, after watching y'all last performance against a Big 12 school, mind you, you can't be. After watching y'all last performance, if you watch y'all last performance and you watched Ohio State's performance in their last two games, especially the last game, you can't feel confident going into this game. Y'all barely beat. You pulled away from Clemson at the end. Y'all barely beat Arizona State. Took y'all 2 overtimes to do it against a team that, against a Big 12 team who y'all say, oh, Big 12 can't compete with Ohio. The Big 12 can't compete with anybody else. Big 12 is, they're not as good as the SEC, blah, 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 blah. When I said that, the Texas is from the Big 12. And if we calling a spade, Texas, you pretty much got beat by one player. Y'all allowed 500 total yards of offense, and it took y'all 2 overtimes to beat this team. Ohio State, on the other hand, I feel like they're peaking at the right time, and I feel like they put up their best. I feel like they put up their best 2 performances of the whole season. But if I had to pick a winner, I'm gonna go Ohio State in this game. I'm not gonna say what everybody else is thinking. There's a lot of people that are thinking that Texas just gonna beat their heads in. Texas just gonna get their heads beat in, which I don't think that's true. I do think Texas will make it competitive, but yeah, give me Ohio State in this game, man. I think they put up their best 2 performances against what I think is, I thought Ohio State played the toughest competition out of everybody in the college football playoff, and they made it look easy up until this point. What they did to Oregon which was the number 1 team. After losing to this team early in the season, I don't
by a point. By the way,
I don't see how you top that really. But yeah, man, give me Ohio State in this game. And another thing too, let's not forget Will Howard is from Kansas State. Kansas State was used to seeing Texas quite a bit. So I'm pretty sure that, Will Howard has it in the back of his mind. Texas is, it was always Texas and Oklahoma, and Texas was this, and Texas was. I'm tired of seeing, Texas and all this propaganda shit. So yeah, it's my time. So yeah, give me Ohio State.
And although he's never beaten Texas, when you look at his stat line in those games he played against Texas, he didn't play bad.
No,
he did not play bad.
No.
So. One game was 2020. I think it was like 17-22. So that's like a 1-score game. So that's, what I'm saying. That's when Texas is supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Back when they had Casey Thompson playing at quarterback. But I digress.
Yeah. Still don't know why OU didn't give him an opportunity with all the shit that we dealt with throughout the season. But hey,
if we were like an OU team in the past, he probably would have been the starting quarterback this year. Monster offensive line, healthy receivers, and so whatever. It is what it is. Appreciate you for coming, even though you should have came in the first place. Your dad went to OU, your brother came. Anyways, get back on topic. Who's winning the national championship?
You know what, bro? I think Ohio State's looked like the best team up until this point. They, like I said, they peaking and got hot at the right time. With the last two, with how Ohio State has looked in the last 2 performances, how do you not pick them to win? And I get it, anything can happen, but it's like, bro, how do you not pick them to win the national championship? It's kind of hard to pick against them right now.
If that same defense that showed up when they played against Oregon shows up tomorrow, guys gonna trouble them waters, boy.
For sure. Hell, if they showed, if not just the defense, if that offense showed up how they've been showing up the last 2 games, they came out last game, pretty much the last 2 games, just with a fuck you type of mindset. I'm talking about they've come out the last 2 games and just went straight at Oregon and straight at Tennessee. Just like, we're better than you. We're going to prove we're better than you, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
And flat out dogged them boys.
So, I mean, now I will say though, when they played Penn State earlier this season, I want to say they were a penalty away from losing to Penn State. So it was a close game. But they had they lost a close game to Oregon earlier this season, and we see how that worked out second time around.
Yep.
I'm gonna leave it at that. But moving on to one of the most exciting parts of football season, it is officially playoffs. It is officially wild card weekend, man. You ready to go ahead and jump off into this thing, dog?
Let's get it.
All right. First game of wild card weekend, which is this Saturday. First game on Saturday. We have the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. Reading off some stats like I do every year. Total offensive statistics. Total offense for LA, they're 22nd with 331.3 yards per game. Houston is 16th with 342. Passing, LA's offense is 21st. Houston's offense is 19th. Rushing, LA's offense is 18th. Houston is 21st. Points per game, LA's offense is 12th. Houston is 18th. Third down percentage, LA's offense is 13th. Houston is 19th. Sacks allowed, LA is 13th in sacks allowed. Houston is 3rd, meaning they give up the 3rd most sacks in the league. Total turnovers, surprisingly, LA is 31st with only 9 total turnovers this whole year. Houston is 19th with 18, and red zone percentage. The LA Chargers are 16th at 56%. Houston is 26th at 20%. It's not very good. With total defense, LA is 13th overall, giving up 343.4 yards a game. Houston is 7th, 335.1 yards a game. Pass defense, LA is 8th. Houston is 6th. Rush defense, LA is 16th. Houston is 12th. Points per game, believe it or not, LA is 1st, only giving up 17.6 yards a game. Houston is 7th, giving up Houston is 16th, giving up 22.4 yards a game. Third down percentage, LA is 9th. Houston is 7th. Sacks, LA is 6th. Houston is 3rd. Interceptions, LA is 10th. Houston is 2nd. Total turnovers on the defense, LA is 13th. Houston is 5th. And red zone percentage, LA is actually the best, 32nd, sitting at 44.7 on teams converted on them in the red zone. And Houston is 3rd, giving up teams are scoring on them 67% of the time. Ryan, you break this down. Talk about both teams and how who you see winning this game.
I feel like the Chargers are just going Charger, when they get in the playoffs. I feel like this game will go either two ways. Either it's going to be a close competitive game that the Houston Texans end up winning in the end, or it's going to be a straight-up blowout by the Chargers. And I just don't see that happening because all the deficiencies on defense and, if they wide receivers ever learn how to catch, it might be a tad bit different in L.A., but congratulations to Harbaugh. Got away from the Connor Stallion shit and you made the playoffs to justify yourself being a good coach. So hats off to you, good sir.
I second that with Ryan. Got to give a shout out to Harbaugh because I'll be honest, I didn't see this coming. I really did not. I didn't see this coming. I thought the Chargers was just going to be. I thought they were going to be a year seeing what they got and seeing what they can do. And hell, they made the best of it, man. Surprised the hell out of me. But I'm actually going to pick the Chargers to win this game, and it's simply because Houston's going to be without. They're going to be without Tank Dell. They're going to be without Stephon Diggs. That Chargers defense is a lot better than people. I don't know if anybody's really paid attention to the Chargers like that, but the Chargers defense is pretty stout. I do feel like Houston's going to have a lot of trouble moving the ball on them. And, that run defense that run offense for LA is pretty smash mouth. It's pretty smash mouth. So, I think LA is going to control the time of possession. They're going to make the best of the opportunities in the red zone because, as I said before, Houston's red zone defense is not that good. And, LA, with the running offense, I think they're going to punch them in the mouth and they're gonna jump on them. I think they're gonna jump on them early, and I think it's gonna be a situation to where Houston, they may be out. I think LA may be out to too much of a lead, and it just may be too much for Houston at the end of the game. But I will take. Give me the Chargers, man. I will take the Chargers in this game. All right, moving on to the game that I'm not really looking forward to, but I'm hopeful. But we do have the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Reading off some statistics. With total offense, Pittsburgh is 19th with 339.6 yards a game. Baltimore's first overall, 434 yards a game. Pass offense, Pittsburgh is 28th. Baltimore is 7th. Running offense, Pittsburgh is 10th. Baltimore is 1st. Points per game, Pittsburgh is 14th. Baltimore is 3rd. Third down percentage, Pittsburgh is 14th. Baltimore is 3rd. Total turnovers on offense, Pittsburgh is actually 22nd. Baltimore is 3rd to last, coming in at 30th. Sacks allowed, Pittsburgh is 8th. Baltimore is 29th. In red zone, Pittsburgh is 30th, converting at only 48%. Baltimore is 1st, converting at 79%. That's in the red zone. Total defense, Pittsburgh is 10th, only allowing 342 yards a game. Baltimore is 10th. They're tied with Baltimore for 342 yards a game. Pass defense, Pittsburgh is 24th. Baltimore is 29th. Rush defense, Pittsburgh is 5th. Baltimore is 1st. Points per game, Pittsburgh is 7th. Baltimore is 10th. Third down percentage, Pittsburgh is tied for 2nd. Baltimore is 19th. Turnovers, Pittsburgh actually leads the turnover battle. Pittsburgh comes in at 1st. Baltimore is 19th. Total sacks, Pittsburgh's 14th. Baltimore is 2nd. Interceptions, Pittsburgh's 3rd. Baltimore is 18th. Red zone percentage, Pittsburgh is 24th. Pittsburgh is 25th, and Baltimore is 27th. Now, Zay Flowers did get injured in Baltimore's last game of the season, so there is some word on that. Last 2 meetings, Pittsburgh got the first one, 18-16, and Baltimore got the second one, 17-34. Ryan, you take off on this one. How do you see this game going, and who do you think wins?
I don't know. It's like y'all started to slump at the wrong time. Like y'all coming off 4 straight losses, and before them, y'all was looking pretty damn good, like a pretty good solid football team, which y'all still are.
About that. I do feel like a part of that, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I do feel like a part of that is we did play 4 of the best teams in the NFL. Down 3 out of 4 of the best teams in the NFL in that 4-game, in that, that 10-day span, and 2 of them was without like half our team. I'm not making, I'm not going. Granted, we look like shit, but that I will take that into consideration. But carry on, bro. My bad.
I don't know. I just think Baltimore is a team nobody wants to see right now. I feel like they're just clicking on offense. On defense, you take advantage of that secondary and possibly run the ball tab. If Najee can get into the second level of that defense. It's really going to come down to scheme on y'all's behalf. You have to exploit that secondary. You got to do that early and often. Russ needs to find Pickens really, really soon and early and go off what you've been saying. Y'all really could use another wide receiver or a tight end or both or something. Or fucking put Najee out there and see if he can catch the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always so hard when these two teams play each other to pick who's going to win. But I'm gonna go with Baltimore because they have a tad bit more momentum on their side. But I feel like their defense is going to be their Achilles heel at some point in this playoffs. But not this game. And I think this game is going to be close, really entertaining, really good.
I love my Steelers. I love my Steelers to death, but I'm gonna go Baltimore this game. I don't like the fact that we limped into the playoffs. 4 straight losses. We got to stop at these late season collapses. I do think it's gonna be kind of close. I no word on Zay Flowers yet, but if Zay Flowers does not play in this game, it may change a lot of things for Baltimore in this game. If there's one team that knows how to play Baltimore, it is definitely Pittsburgh. So I do expect this game to be close. I expect it to be physical. It's a good old-fashioned AFC North matchup, and every time Pittsburgh and Baltimore play in the playoffs, it is electric. But I'm gonna go Baltimore. I don't know, just that tandem in the backfield, bro. I don't know if we're gonna be able to contain it enough. But yeah, give me Baltimore in this game.
That's fair. It's a fair assessment.
Yeah. All right, moving on we have the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills. Some offensive statistics for both these teams. Total offense for Denver. Denver's 22nd, coming 336.2 yards a game. Buffalo's 12th, 362.8 yards a game. Pass offense, Denver is 20th. Buffalo is 9th. Rushing offense, Denver's 16th. Buffalo's 9th. Points per game, Denver's 10th. Buffalo is 30. Buffalo is 2nd. Third down percentage, Denver's 13th. Buffalo's 7th. Turnovers, Denver's 17th. Buffalo is 32nd with dead last in the league in turnovers because they've only turned the ball over 8 times this year, believe it or not. Sacks allowed, Denver's 3rd. Buffalo is 32nd. Red zone percentage, Denver is 8th. Buffalo is 2nd. Defensive statistics, Denver is 9th. Denver is 9th in total defense, giving up 338.3 yards per game. Buffalo is 19th, giving up 356.6 yards per game. Let me make sure I didn't. Okay, because I definitely thought I'd fuck this one up. But pass defense, Buffalo's 9th. Denver's 19th. Buffalo's 24th. Rush defense, Denver's 3rd. Buffalo's 12th. Points per game, Denver's 3rd. Buffalo is a tie for 11th. Third down percentage, Denver is 11th. Buffalo is tied for 28th. Sacks for the defense, Denver's actually 1st with 58. Buffalo's 18th. Total turnovers, Denver's 6th. Buffalo's 3rd. And red zone percentage, Denver's 29th and 46% with teams converting on them 46% of the time. And Buffalo is 16th at 58.6. Ryan, how do you see this game going, and who do you see winning?
It's just going to go Buffalo's way. This is going to be a good learning experience for Mr. Bo Nix. I'm not going to say it's going to be an absolute collapse, but I just feel like Buffalo's experienced. They've been there before. Denver may have players that's been there before, but they're still a particularly younger football team. They're just trying to figure it out. So I feel like this is going to be a good old-fashioned belt-to-ass moment for the Denver Broncos. But shout out to them for making the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. That is very hard to do in this league. So it shows that Sean Payton may know a little bit about what he's doing, or just the fact that there hasn't been enough film yet on Bo Nix. Regardless of the situation, they're in the playoffs, and I got Buffalo winning probably about 2 to 3 scores.
First and foremost, shout out Sean Payton. I'm still not the biggest fan of Sean Payton. If you've been following the podcast, you know why. But shout out to Sean Payton for, getting Denver to the playoffs. And shout out to Bo Nix for, a great rookie season, man. I think he's going to do great things in this league. But this is Buffalo's game. They at home. Denver ain't been here in a while. And, shout out to them for getting to the playoffs the first time since, 2014?
Since the Super Bowl.
Pretty much it.
I do believe.
But yeah, man, shout out to Denver. Bo Nix take this as a learning experience, but I do think it's gonna be close though, because that Denver defense is pretty stout. But I do think I'm excited to see what Buffalo does this year. But yeah, I take Buffalo. I take Buffalo by 2-3 scores.
Shout out my boy Nick Bonito. You know who you are, boy.
And man, Marvin Mims, dog, what you talking about? Boomer.
Oh yeah. Sooner. Oh, yeah, I ain't forgot about Martin. He needs to switch to that 17. I'm getting used to that 19, man, but damn, bro. Second play of the fucking game, in that Kansas City game, all right, yeah, I've seen enough.
Yep, Broncos to the Super Bowl. I will say this, though. Once the Broncos seem they got it figured out towards the season, bro, as long as they can bring back some key pieces next season, them in Kansas City is gonna get very interesting, dog. It's gonna be some good battles.
Don't forget about LA.
I'm not sleeping.
It's
I'm not
like
sleeping on
it's
LA.
like it's like it's like the AFC West this year is like the picture of the three dragons. They all look menacing, and then it's the Raiders.
If you
Why do you fire Antonio after 1 year, bro? That is so egregious to me.
Ryan, what color I got on? What color I got on? It
Black.
says all. It's that tells you all the fuck you need to know. We know why. We know why.
We say the same thing about the Patriots too. But,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. Cliff Kingsbury only had one winning season as a head coach in the NFL, and I think he coached 4 or 5 years.
Hell, the Bears held on to Matt Eberflus for 4 years and kept trying to put the blame on other people. So, just saying, man.
We're not gonna. I don't even know why they hired him, but okay.
That makes for a completely different conversation.
Moving on.
All right, let's keep it rolling, man. The Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles did win the first matchup, 34-29. Some stats for this particular game. Offensive stats: total offense, Green Bay's 9th, Philly's 5th. Pass offense, Green Bay's 12th, Philly is 29th. Rushing offense, Green Bay's 5th, Philly is 2nd. Points per game, Green Bay's tied for 7th with Philly. Philly is also 7th. Third down percentage, Green Bay's tied for 14th. Philly's 10th. Total turnovers, Green Bay's 21st. Philly is 25th. Sacks, Green Bay is 31st at sacks allowed. Philly is 14th. Red zone percentage, Green Bay is 9th. Philly is 14th. On the defensive side of the ball, Green Bay total defense, they're tied for 5th, only giving up 332.2 yards per game. Philly is first, giving up. Philly has the best overall total defense, only giving up 296.3 yards per game. Pass defense, Green Bay is 13th. Philly's first. Rush defense, Green Bay is 7th. Philly is 10th. Points per game, Green Bay is 6th. Philly is 2nd. Third down percentage, Green Bay is 12th. Philly's 3rd. Total turnovers, Green Bay is 4th. Philly's 8th. Total sacks, Green Bay's 7th. Philly is 11th. Red zone percentage, Green Bay's 15th. Philly's 25th. There is a possibility that Green Bay will be without Christian Watson this game. A very strong possibility because he did suffer a knee injury in the last game. Ryan, how do you see this game going, and who do you see hailing victorious?
I got 2 questions. How is Jalen Hurts, and how is C.J. Stroud?
C.J. Stroud, right now, you mean Jordan Love?
My bad, Jordan
You
Love.
good, you good.
We all get them confused. I mean, he fucked his hand up in the game last week. Is Jalen out of concussion protocol?
Yeah.
If Jalen is healthy, I want to go. My heart is saying Philly, but my mind is telling me Green Bay. Because I just feel like Green Bay is a better football team than the Eagles. But this is an experienced football team in Philly. They've been here before, so they know what to do. So I'm going to go with Philly. I'm going to go with Philly. If Jalen is out of concussion protocol. But Jordan Love, I don't know. This has been a weird year for him health-wise. It's been really weird.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. I'm gonna go Philly in this game. I do think it may be a tad bit closer than we may think, but I'm definitely gonna go Philly in this game just off home field advantage. And Green Bay's coming into this game kind of dinged up. I think Jordan Love's okay. He did hurt his elbow in the last game, but I think they just took him out as a precaution. But I do think he'll be okay, and I think Philly will use the home field advantage to their advantage. And I see Philly coming out of this one victorious.
Same here, brother.
Same. Yep. All right, so moving on to the next game, and I actually think this is going to be a very exciting game. We have the Washington Commanders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Some statistics for these teams. Total offense, Washington is 6th at 385.4 yards per game. Tampa Bay is 3rd at 414.2 yards per game. Passing offense, Washington is 17th. Tampa Bay is 3rd, Passing offense. Rushing offense, Washington is third. Tampa Bay is fourth. Points per game, Washington is fifth. Tampa Bay is fourth. Third down percentage, Washington is sixth. Tampa Bay is first. Total turnovers on offense, Washington is 15th. Tampa Bay is 10th. No, Washington is 24th. Tampa Bay is 10th. Total sacks on offense, Washington is 12th. Tampa Bay is 15th. Red zone percentage, Washington is 6th. Tampa Bay is 4th. On the defensive side of the ball, total defense for Washington is 11th in total defense at allowing 342.9 yards per game. Tampa Bay is 23rd, giving up 360.4 yards per game. Washington is third in pass defense. Tampa Bay is 29th. Washington is 30th in rush defense. Tampa Bay is 4th. Washington is 18th in points per game allowed. Tampa Bay is 16th. Washington is 15th on third down. Tampa Bay is 14th. Washington is 20th in total turnovers. Tampa Bay is 16th. Washington is 12th in sacks allowed. Tampa Bay is 8th. Washington is 4th in red zone percentage, and Tampa Bay is 20th. Ryan, go ahead. You take off on this one. How do you see this game going, and who you think Hale's victorious?
I don't trust Tampa Bay's defense because they almost lost their game against Carolina. They were just sputtering along. Then they got some stops, and then they was able to, get it together and start moving the football. That offensive line is questionable, too, at times. It has moments where it's like they can't block anybody. The only advantage I would give Tampa Bay is to bait Jaden Daniels into making mistakes. Now, Tampa did beat Washington early in the season, but that was like the first or second game of the season. So, like, he's a completely different player now than he was then. And I feel like Jaden might just run all over these niggas, man. Might be like that Kaepernick game when he went up to Lambeau Field and just swagged on them. It might be something like that. So yeah, my heart is with Tampa because my guy Baker and other players and whatnot. But Godwin is out. They got a couple other injuries. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Washington this game.
I agree with you. I think I got to take Washington in this game. I do understand this is Jaden's first playoff game, and this is a big stage for Washington after what they've gone through the last few years. But hell, they did get to the playoffs a couple years ago against Tampa Bay with fucking Taylor Heineke. I'm gonna go with Washington in this game. I just think that it may be a little too much. I think that Tampa may be a little too much for them. So. And, it'd be nice to see Jaden Daniels get his first playoff win. And on the road.
This is true.
All right. Moving on to the last game of Wild Card Weekend. We do have... Hold on a second. Okay. We do have the LA Rams versus the Minnesota Vikings. Some totals for this particular game. Minnesota is coming into this game 11th in overall offense at 366.7 yards per game. LA is 15th, tied for 15th with 344.8 yards per game. Passing offense, Minnesota is 6th. LA is 10th. Rushing offense, Minnesota is tied for 19th. LA is 24th. Points per game, Minnesota is 9th. LA is 20th. Third down percentage, Minnesota's 12th. LA is tied for 23rd. Turnovers, Minnesota is 15th. LA is 29th. Sacks, Minnesota is 11th. LA is 28th. Red zone percentage, Minnesota's 10th. LA is 23rd. Some defensive totals. Minnesota is coming into this game 17th in total defense, giving up 355.7 yards a game. The Rams are 27th, giving up 371.2 yards per game. Minnesota is 28th in pass defense. LA is 20th. Minnesota is 2nd in run defense. LA is 22nd. Minnesota is 5th in points allowed. LA is 17th. Minnesota is 4th in third down percentage. LA is 20th. Minnesota is 2nd overall in total turnovers. LA is 15th. Minnesota is 4th in total sacks. LA is 23rd. Minnesota is 17th in red zone conversion percentage, and LA is 28th. Now, a quick backstory on this one. The head coach of Minnesota was the LA Rams offensive coordinator when they won the Super Bowl, went on their run, and LA did beat Minnesota the first time, 34-20. Ron, how do you see this game going, and who do you see coming out victorious?
Not unless Sam Darnold shits the bed. It's going to be Minnesota. That Rams defense. Hats off to them because they've been persevering to. I remember at one point it looked like they wasn't going to have a winning record, and they turned around and finished second. No, they won the NFC West. The Rams?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, because they beat the Seahawks. So yeah, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Minnesota. I'm gonna go Minnesota. Yo, the playback. Do you hear that? It's like,
Yeah.
I can hear my.
I can't. It's the damn echo cancellation. It changed. But this shit done pissed me off. I'm about ready to say fuck it and go back to Zoom because this is the second time I've had some bullshit happen since we went back to Riverside.
Yeah. But I mean, we at the end.
Yeah. It's all good. But give me the Rams in this game. No, I'm sorry. Give me the Vikings in this game. Yes, I do understand that. I do understand that they have the better record, and Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and all that. I get all that. I don't think the Rams can. I don't think the Rams going to be able to slow down this offense. My issue with the Rams is I don't know what happened with Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp. I do, Puka Nacua has been great, but it's like pretty much Matt Stafford is giving Cooper Kupp the same treatment that he gave all the other Rams wide receivers whenever it was Cooper Kupp and everybody else. And they have not been on track this the last quarter of the season. And that's not good carrying into the playoffs against a Vikings team that can go, that they've shown time and time again they can go in there and they can score with the best of them. So yeah, give me the Vikings in this game. I do think the Vikings will take this one. Now that we got that out the way, would you care to give me your early Super Bowl prediction? Who do you not who's gonna win? But who do you think is going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC and out of the AFC?
Okay, for AFC it's gonna be Baltimore / Chiefs.
You got to pick one though. You got to pick one.
Okay, Chiefs and NFC. Detroit. And I'm not being asked from Kansas City. For real.
It might be, but we all know that Kansas City's a different team in the playoffs, so we'll see. I say give me Buffalo and give me Detroit. That's what I think. I think two franchises that are used to they've had so much disappointment in the past or whatever. I think it'd just be cool to see these two fan bases. It's pretty much, it'd be like the battle of the fan bases pretty much. So I say give me Detroit and Buffalo.
Yeah, man. Give me Baltimore and Detroit.
Yeah, I think that's.
You know what I'm saying? Cartier watches, golds, diamonds in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Big old stripper booties, chicken wings, champagne bottles, niggas getting high fighting at halftime.
For mink coats, Kangos, Gators, stretch limos, you know what I'm saying? Black and Miles,
tattoos, bullet holes, motherfucking About 30 niggas snuck in, got kicked out, came back.
Remy Martin and Hennessy bottles everywhere.
And down
If we get that Super Bowl, I think that's definitely what the fuck we gonna be seeing.
Oh yeah.
But if you've made it to this far in the episode, man, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Please make sure to comment. We take constructive criticism very well. Let us know what we doing wrong, what we doing right. Just keep the bullshit at a minimum. Otherwise, we have to have a different conversation, as I always say. And if you did get any snow this past week, please make sure to drive safe. If you don't have to go nowhere, please don't go nowhere. Stay ass at home and don't drink and drive. And y'all be safe and have a great wild card weekend.
Fuck Boston.
Hey, man, fuck y'all. But as always, man, we thank y'all for tuning in. Ryan, I love you, brother. I hope you staying warm and staying out this mess that we got out there on them roads, dog.
You too.
All right.
You too, my brother.
All right. Until next week, man.